So once again, good afternoon, everyone. I would like to welcome all of you on behalf of ICAE. I'm Almas, and I'll be your host for this session. I would like to thank Jayashree Periwal School, Ms. Rashmi, and Ms. Sajan Morris, Senior Vice Principal of Jayashree Periwal School, for giving us this opportunity to invite all the overseas universities, top overseas universities, for this session today. And I would very quickly hand over the session to Ms. Rashmi. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much, Almas. A very good afternoon and a warm welcome to respected Sajna Morris ma'am, our Senior Vice Principal of Jayashree Periwal High School, Honorable Mr. Mohammad Nazir, Managing Director, International Center for Advancement of Education, Miss Almas, the pleasant host of today, the illustrious panel which I can see of the Global Career Counselors, revered parents and dear students. Edward Markham, the famous American poet, had said, and I quote, okay, choices are the hinges of destiny. And children, believe me, today may I present before you the most eminent educator whose words of wisdom have given wings of fire to the imagination of hundreds and hundreds of students over the years to make the right choices. She has adroitly and dedicatedly helped children shape their future in golden letters. She is none other than our dear, very own Morris ma'am. So I humbly request our Senior Vice Principal, Mrs. Morris, to please advise the present gathering of students and parents on how to choose the right path in their life to attain success. Over to Morris ma'am.
Thank you, Rashmi. A very good afternoon to everyone. Firstly, I want to thank the organization of this fair for taking up the initiative of reaching out to the children, which otherwise would not have been possible and would have been beyond their reach, given the present day scenario of COVID and the lockdown. It's indeed very thoughtful and very kind of you that you thought of organizing such an educational fair, which plays a very important role in guiding the students with the admission process and also help the students by providing them with the needed information prior to filling up the admission forms. Children, believe me, you are very fortunate and lucky. You are very privileged to attend this virtual fair, which will not only give you the exposure to all the information that you need regarding foreign universities, and that was staying in the comfort of your own homes, but will also help you gather all the information you require regarding the admission process. It's an opportunity for you to get answers to all your queries. And whatever be the doubts that you are troubled, you can get clarity on them and find answers to all your questions. Remember, opportunity knocks only once on the door, and you may not get another chance to have such kind of an interaction, and that to be such experienced counselors who are well versed in handling these matters. So don't be hesitant, make the best use of the opportunity and clarify what will be the doubts that you have. And there's a platform where you have direct access to the admission officers of the universities and can get guidance from their counseling experts. You can get first-hand information about all that you want to know straight from the horse's mouth, offered to you on a golden platter free of cost. So make the best use of this opportunity. And there's a virtual platform offered to you to help you crystallize all your dreams. So it's always better to get exposure to this kind of information about various universities prior to filling up the admission forms to have better clarity. So listen carefully, make wise choices. There should be no regrets later. Remember the poem, The Road Not Taken, where Robert, somewhere, I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So the road that you take makes all the difference in your life. I better stop now because of paucity of time, but I request each one of you to take their expertise and guidance offered and make up your minds using your sense of discretion with perfect sense of judgment and discernment. Thank you.
Thanks a bunch, dear ma'am, as you've always actually helped the children to develop that important skill of life, that's decision making. Now, without further ado, I just hand it over to Almas ma'am to please take over the reins of the program. Over to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. And thank you, Ms. Morris, for your thoughtful words. So students, this is for you. We'll be starting with the short introductions of the universities. And after we are done with that, we will take all your questions in Q&A box. Feel free to write down all your queries in Q&A box. We'll be taking it in the second segment where we'll have a Q&A session. So I will not take much of your time and would like to invite Ms. Astha Virk from Education USA. Astha, over to you.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
All right, so just give me a second while I pull up my presentation. Just give me a second. Right, we'll just start. Hi everyone, thank you so much for inviting us today. My name is Astha Virk Singh. I'm the Senior Advisor for Education USA at the New Delhi Center. I see some of my friends and colleagues here on the panel, so I'm very excited. Hi Mahip, hi Anshuman, and hi everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. And I hope we have a fruitful discussion. So with that, without giving you too much information, for those of you who do not know about Education USA, we are the official source on US higher education. That means that we're supported by the US government. So the Department of State funds our program, okay? Our program's main mission is to provide students with information which is accurate, comprehensive, current, but most importantly, unbiased. So today, students, I am not a university. I do not represent any particular set of universities as Education USA. Education USA works with more than 4,500 accredited institutions in the US. So as long as the university is accredited, it's recognized. Education USA works with students to apply to this massive number, okay? So we don't have any programs as such that we offer. We're not a university, we're an organization that works with US universities. And since it's funded by the US government, it is only limited to the US. We are a huge network. We are present in 170 countries and 430 centers around the world. In India, we have 7 centers. New Delhi is the head office. But we have centers in 6 other cities, namely Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Kolkata, and Mumbai. You can talk to an Education USA advisor anywhere in the country and in the world, and you will get the same advice. Okay, so right now, of course, we're all virtual, but please do reach out to us, connect with us. And we are doing Zoom sessions, we're doing Google Meet appointments. We're talking to you every day on the phone if you need that. But connect with Education USA to understand how to apply to US universities. And just a little bit about us, we follow the 5 steps process. We understand that this process can get a little overwhelming for students and parents alike. It gets overwhelming for us advisors when we have to work with so many of you, just to keep us all organized and to make sure that we complete the application in a timely manner. Our life at Education USA revolves around the 5 steps. We do sessions on all of the 5 steps, starting from how to select even my subject to the university, how to complete the application, you know, is my essay sounding okay? Does my resume need something else? And of course, to the visa, and finally the pre-departure. Visa sessions are taken on by the US Embassy. So you actually have visa officers who adjudicate your student visa. They come and do sessions with us. So again, we work with the official source on information on visas at the embassy. So when you connect with us, you get a huge range of services. We offer a lot of free advising sessions that we are doing even at the moment. If you can just give me some time to get to that. For example, we have the undergraduate application camp that's going on, and we have already completed 4 sessions in the app camp. Now, today's session, in fact, today at 6 o'clock, we are talking about application form. So a lot of you who are applying for to the US next year are going to be filling out your common application and several other forms, depending on the university that you're applying to. So today's session is going to be with Rice University and the Education USA advisor from Delhi, and we're talking about applications. The next 2 sessions are going to be on finances. So if you are interested in applying to the US, mark the calendar with these dates and do reach out to us for more information. Our previous sessions are live streamed on YouTube, so you can always check out our channel, Education USA India, and you can access this information as well. Similarly, we're doing something called the Discovery Series with US universities. It's going to be a power-packed session month of October, where we're going to be talking about a lot of careers and courses available in the US. All of these sessions are going to be done with US universities. So if you're interested in any of these subjects up on the list, do attend, okay? And just going to finish by telling you a little bit about how you can reach out to us. We have a toll-free line, okay? The number is up there. If you need something, I'll put it up in the chat box. Don't worry about copying this down. Our free sessions are available to everyone. We have students, just on Tuesday, we had a student join us from Zimbabwe. So, virtually we are reaching out to anybody who wants to, get this information. And we do have a membership service as well, where we have students who work with us very closely on their application. We review your essays, we review your resumes, but at Education USA, we do the membership slightly differently. We do not really believe in spoon feeding our students, okay? So there's a lot of work that goes in. Do call us up to inquire about it. And of course, we are on social media. Our Instagram page has just recently been launched. There's a lot of good information for students on there. So do reach out to us and let me know if you have any questions. I will leave my email address and my number in the chat box, and we can move on to the next speaker. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Asta. Thank you very much. Now moving on to the next speaker here. I would like to invite Ms. Nilanjana Shin from Trinity College, Dublin.
Thank you, Almas. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nilanjana Shin. I'm the Senior Recruitment Advisor for Trinity College, Dublin. I'll quickly share my screen. Just allow me a moment, please. I hope you can all see my screen.
Yes, it's there.
All right, so I'm delighted to be here today. Thank you. I'm very, very grateful to the school as well as to ICAE to giving us this opportunity. And I'm here to talk to you about how studying at Trinity can add a unique edge and acceleration to both your education as well as your career path. But before telling you about Trinity, I'll provide a very quick overview of Ireland to give you an insight about the real post-study career outcomes and also the abundance of industry interface that is available through projects, internships, and part-time job opportunities during your journey as a student. So Ireland is the fastest growing economy in Europe, and that is due to the presence of over 1,200 leading global companies. A majority of these have their European headquarters here. With Brexit, it is now the only English-speaking country in the European Union and offers a one-year stay-back or job search visa to international students. ICT, financial services, medical tech, and biopharma are the key sectors of Irish economy. It is world's second largest exporter of IT and computer services, and global giants like Google, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, IBM, LinkedIn, Twitter, Intel, Accenture, HP, they all have their European headquarters here, while Dublin is Europe's hub of eminent gaming companies. Neck to neck with ICT is the financial services sector, which is led by more than 250 global firms, including 25 major banks of the world. Ireland is also the top European country for international pharmaceutical investment, with over 300 leading biotech, pharma, and biopharma companies. Last but not the least is the medical technology sector that has made Ireland a global leader and the second largest employer of medtech professionals in Europe. We have more than 450 world-leading companies, thus offering substantial employment opportunities for science and engineering graduates. Ireland is also the most entrepreneurial country in Europe, so there is a lot of support available in terms of funding and mentorship for all kinds of startups. Coming now to Trinity, which, as you can see, has been founded in 1592, and it is one of the 7 ancient universities of the world, along with Oxford and Cambridge, and is also the #1 university in Ireland. Trinity has actively built on its tradition of academic excellence, and in our 428th year, we are ranked 101st in the world, and we are also among the top 100 for employability of our graduates. We are also the most entrepreneurial university in Europe for the 5th consecutive year. This is our 47-acre campus located right in the heart of Dublin city centre as a part of Global Innovation Hub, which is located right in the center of Dublin. And this slide reflects our identity as a world-leading modern university with our sights fixed firmly on the future. So Trinity offers 4-year honors courses in all academic disciplines, ranging from business, psychology, law, history, English, economics, political science, sociology, philosophy, film studies, and music, to computer science and engineering, in which we offer 5-year integrated master degrees in both of these subjects, which will include a 6-month paid internship component. As you can see here, our School of Computer Science is also the host for Science Foundation Ireland's research centers, which are ADAPT and Connect. For a majority of our programs, we are ranked among the top 100 in the world, and our graduates are the most highly sought after by top employers in Ireland, and we have an unmatched track record of tech startups as well. Our general entry requirements are here, which are a minimum of 80% aggregate, and additionally programs like science, computer science, engineering, and business will have subject-specific requirements. I won't go into them now, but I can always share the details if anyone is interested. We have one intake in September, and applications commence on 1st October of the previous year. All applications are online through the course page on our website, and we issue conditional offers on the basis of predicted grades and 2 academic LORs that are mandatory. The living costs are approximately 13,000 euros, and our annual fees are about 19,000 euros for all programs offered by the Faculty of Arts and Humanities, and about 26,000 euros for all lab-based STEM programs. We offer a small number of partial one-time scholarships of 5,000 euros. These are merit-based scholarships for which the students can apply after they have received an offer from us. And we also offer dedicated scholarships for our engineering and science programs, and these are awards of 4,000 to 5,000 euros for every year of the program. I'm conscious of the time, so I will keep it short and sweet, but I'll be happy to provide further information, so please feel free to reach out. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nilanjana ma'am. Moving on to Canada now. I would like to invite Mr. Divya Kumar from University of Ottawa.
Divya, we can't hear you.
Divya, you're not audible.
He's on mute, I guess.
Hi, good afternoon. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry about that. I think I forgot to unmute myself. Very good afternoon. I am Divya and I work for the University of Ottawa. So what I'm going to do is, before I really talk about the university, I'll talk to you about the city. Now, Ottawa is, as you all know, the capital of Canada, and it is very strategically located on the border of Quebec and Ontario, giving you access to some of the big cities, not only in Canada, but also in the US. So we are like a 5 hours drive from Toronto, close to, I'm so sorry, just a minute. So around a 2 hours drive from Montreal. You can fly to New York and Boston in an hour and a half. Now, Ottawa is also called as the Silicon Valley North because of high concentration of high-tech industries in the region. If I talk about the quality of education, now coming down to the University of Ottawa, University of Ottawa is the largest English-French bilingual university in the world. It is also a publicly funded university, a research-intensive university, and is ranked among the top 10 in Canada. We're also among. Why is my presentation showing? I'm so sorry. It's not working. I'm so sorry this is taking a while, but I really wanted you to see the presentation because the map gives you a proper view of where we are located. Otherwise, we are kind of lost. Can you see the presentation now?
Yes, it is there.
So I've already discussed with you where we are located and what we are, but here, yeah. So this is the map that I really wanted to show you. We have a very downtown campus right in the center of the capital. The Parliament, the Canadian Parliament, is a 10-minute walk, if you can see here. The Sandy Hill, which is the residential area, is a 5-minute walk, just in case you decide of staying off campus instead of on campus. Though all first-year students are guaranteed, a spot on campus in our residences, in case you want to stay there, and we also have meal plans which you can choose from. Now, we have 9 faculties to talk about, but primarily for undergraduate education, we have the Faculty of Arts, where you have programs, most of the languages taught. But other than the languages, we have history, we have communications, journalism to choose from. There is also Telfer School of Management, which is a Triple Crown accredited institute. When I say Triple Crown accredited, means that Triple Crown is the highest body of accreditation that a B school can get, and University of Ottawa has it. There are only 70 B schools in the world to have a Triple Crown accreditation. So, I'm just not boasting about this, but what I'm trying to tell you is that our education is not only recognized in Canada, but across the globe. We have the Faculty of Social Sciences, which is one of the largest faculties in Canada. We have almost all the programs to choose from. Economics is one of the programs that a lot of students choose. But other than economics, we have criminology, we have psychology, we have international development. So you can choose from a wide array of courses in social sciences as well. The Faculty of Science is again renowned because for its prowess in research. There's a lot of research happening. Just to give you an example of some of the researchers, we have a professor called Professor Andrew Pelling, who is developing human tissues out of an apple, which is quite amazing, trying to replace all the human tissues in an apple and make human parts out of it. To be honest, he's been successful in making a human ear, which can be replaced in case you lose a ear. We have the Faculty of Health Sciences, where we have nutrition, food sciences, and sports sciences. So kinesiology is one of the more popular programs under the Faculty of Health Sciences. We also have Faculty of Engineering, where we have almost all the engineering courses that you can think of. Some of the fun courses that we have is, say, developing law for robots, or we have robotics or artificial intelligence or data sciences or big data or IoT, if you can, just think about all those terms that we use so often in India. Now, other than this, I think I'm done with the presentation, but other than this, we have the second largest number of co-ops. So most of our programs come with an internship. You have 16 months of internship, which is spread across 4 years. Each placement term is of a 4 months duration. So you not only study, but you also work. We call it a co-op because it is always related to whatever you studied or the skills that you've gained in your previous year. you make close to 10,000 Canadian dollars per placement term. I think I've covered most of it. So we are a large university, and I don't think I can actually brief you on whatever the facilities that we have on campus. However, I'll be very happy if you can email me and for any questions pertaining to scholarships, facilities such as the sports, the varsity team that we have, or various clubs that are there at the University of Ottawa. I'll be very happy to answer all those questions. It was great talking to you again, and I hope that I receive a lot of emails from your school. Wish you all the best, and thank you.
Thank you, Divya. Thank you very much. So students, you can start posting your queries in Q&A box, and we will take them at the end of the session, or the delegates can answer them right now in the Q&A box. So moving on to the next delegate here, I would like to invite Mr. Anshuman Singh from Kent State University.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anshuman. I represent Kent State University. Kent State University is located in the state of Ohio in US, in the northeast part of the state. It is one of the safest and the friendliest campus, 11th as per the ratings, low cost of living, 88% less as compared to other major towns of the US, ranked among top 100 graduate schools by US News and World Report, ranked 77th by the Carnegie Foundation as a public research university, spread over 950 acres, 27,000 plus Kent campus graduate and undergraduate student, a huge alumni of 251,000 worldwide, located in the Great Lakes region, established in 1910. We offer 285 undergraduate programs. Coming to the scholarship, which plays a major role in India, Global Scholarship is a renewable scholarship, and it is given to all incoming international students. So the student gets 4,000 every year. International Freshman Scholarship, again, is a renewable scholarship. You need to have a SAT score. Anything above 1260 makes you eligible, and a GPA of 3.6 on a scale of 4. The award amount goes up to $20,000. The third scholarship is You Are Welcome Here scholarship. It's in again a renewable scholarship, and the amount ranges from $8,000 to $9,000. You have to write an essay or submit a video. Civic Engagement Scholarship and Global Diversity Scholarship, both of them are one-time scholarships, and the amount ranges from $2,000 to $5,000. And again, it's you have to submit an essay for this. Our popular programs are computer science, applied mathematics, journalism, fashion design, business management, psychology, public health, biology, physics, chemistry, architecture, sports administration, aerospace engineering, to name a few. The admission process is very simple. You have to submit an online application. Once you are in class 12th, you are good to apply. And this is for the students of class 12th who are presently in class 12th. We are having an application fee waiver from 20th to 27th of October. The requirements are IELTS 6 or TOEFL 71. SAT is not required but recommended. SAT is only required for 5 programs. Now coming to the safety, Kent is rated 11th safest campus as per FBI Uniform Crime Report. We have our own flagship agency, Kent Police Services, and the patrolling is done 24 hours a day. Campus security and courtesy phones are available in all buildings and parking lots. Flash alerts are sent through the emails and the cell phones. I would also like to share a list of the programs that we offer at Kent State University. So this is the list of the undergraduate programs. It is also available online. I will be sharing the link with you all. We have our office in Delhi for last 11 years. So please feel free to get in touch with us. My email address is india@kent.edu. And you can also follow our Instagram page and other social media accounts, which I will be sharing in the chat box. Thank you.
Thank you, Anshuman. So next up is Mr. Saurabh Verma from the University of Victoria.
I hope my screen is visible, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So good afternoon, students and parents. Good afternoon to school authorities. My name is Saurabh. I work for the University of Victoria in Canada. Just like my colleague Divya told you, we are, he's on the eastern side, we are on the western side of Canada. Just the opposite side of Canada. Canada is a huge country, and we are located on the Vancouver Island, one of the largest islands out there. 1,200 kilometers is the size of the island, and we are just on the southern tip of the island. This is the campus of University of Victoria, which is in the Ring Road. All your student accommodation, library, pharmacy, all your classes all happen inside the single campus. So it's not a scattered campus. Everything is there in single campus as well. Talking about the city, Victoria happens to be the capital city of British Columbia. So having said that, capital city means, you have all big city amenities available in the city. Your dorm, and even for, your shopping, or if in case you want to go out on weekends for any leisure activities, everything is available inside the city as well. University, of Victoria has been there in the city from since 1903. So we have almost 116 years of history, and we are one of the oldest post-secondary institution in British Columbia. It's a public university, and we are well funded by the Canadian government. So having said that, this means that the government has a lot of interference in terms of the quality of education that we provide, and also the satisfaction of the student also matters a lot out here. Some few pointers about the city as well. It is just under 4 lakhs as a population. It is just under 4 lakhs, which is by Canadian standards a very decently populated place. At times, students always have this apprehension about harsh Canadian weather, but Victoria happens to have the blessing of one of the best weathers available out there. 8-degree average winters and 22-degree average summers. So quite easy going for any student traveling from Asia. We are a mid-sized university. So mid-sized university means that you have a better one-on-one connect with your faculty, your resources on campus, your peer groups, and roughly around about 22,000 students are there on campus, out of which 4,500 are international students, which is close to 20% of our population is international. And you can see 87% of our students are out of Victoria. So obviously, even if you are studying with Canadian students, but they will all be leaving their homes from different provinces and come to Victoria for your studies. So good mix of international as well as local Canadian students. So when you develop a lot of bonding with all these people. Now, whenever you consider a university internationally, you always try to look at the rankings. So Victoria also enjoys a very good rankings. If we talk about our comprehensive university rankings, we are ranked in top 3 comprehensive universities for almost a decade now. So we've been there in these rankings for almost 10 years. Now we are also ranked #1 comprehensive university for graduate employability. This means that once you complete the program, you are well accepted in the job market, and our students are doing very well. They are easily picked up by the employers all across. When you also refer to the QS rankings in 10 different diverse disciplines, we've been ranked in top 300 universities globally for in various courses. It's on your screen right now. As I said, we are ranked #1 for graduate employability in comprehensive universities of Canada. This is because even if your program does not have a mandatory co-op, we still encourage you to participate in these co-op. The University of Victoria co-op is almost 40 years old. It's one of the oldest co-op programs in Canada. So for students who do not have an idea about the co-op, it's basically a paid internship which is linked to the field of education that you are doing. So like for example, an engineering student will be doing an engineering co-op and he will be gaining valuable experience as well as get paid for that. So you can opt for up to 16 months of in these paid internships or co-ops, and our students are able to earn around about $11,000 to $12,000 in one particular term of 4 months. So it's a good tool to get some financial assistance as well. These are some of the co-op employers who pick our students. So when you can understand, having a Google or a Tesla or an Amazon on your resume will really make sense once you pass out of the program. Talking about the distribution, 79% or 80% of our students work in different parts of British Columbia. There is also a decent percentage of 13% who work in different parts of Canada, and also roughly number 7.6% students work in international locations as well. And now 75% of our students who participate in these co-ops already have a job offer in hand by the time they graduate. So this is something interesting for you to understand. If you participate in the co-op, you have very good chances of getting a job after the program. Now coming to the various faculties and the programs that we have 80 plus majors to choose from. So whether you are interested in social sciences or business or engineering, then we have different combinations of the program, core programs, single concentration, double majors. I mean, you're free to do that. So let's discuss some of the popular programs at UWIC. So engineering, we are very popular for our BSc computer science as well as computer science engineering. And then we also have other disciplines of engineering like biomedical, civil, software, electrical, and mechanical. When it comes to the social sciences program, we are very popular for our psychology, economics, and environmental sciences program. And if you're interested in business, then we have a Bachelor's of Commerce program, which is a 4-year comprehensive business management program, offering you, specialization tracks in international business, entrepreneurship, or services management. And if in case you are interested in sciences like astronomy and physics, is a very good combination. If in case you're looking at data sciences kind of program, you can pick up computer science with statistics. So these programs are also very popular for us. Now, in the entry requirements, we are looking at a minimum of 75 to 80% in your class 12, if in case you are a CBSE, ISC, or a state board student. However, having said that, these are the minimum requirements. It does not mean that if in case you have a 75 or an 80, you are guaranteed an admission. We are looking at a slightly higher percentage in popular programs like engineering, business, and computer science. If you're an IB student, then 28 points are minimum that we look at. If you're an A-level student, then minimum C is what we look at in all your A-level subjects. Now, when it comes to your English language proficiency, if in case you're planning to write an IELTS, we're looking at 6.5 with no less than 6 in each section. If you're writing a TOEFL, then we're looking at an overall 90 with no section less than 20. However, you can be considered for a waiver on these 2 exams based on your minimum instruction from the certificate from the school, which says that your education from 9 to 12 has been done in English medium, so we can waive that off. However, for the visa, you still need an IELTS or TOEFL. Let's discuss the investment part. I mean, roughly an investment in terms of your tuition fees would be around about just under $26,000, so 14.5 lakhs in Indian currency. And then if you sum up your living expenses, your books and supplies, and other costings, you're looking at roughly 32 lakhs as an investment per annum. We do have some exciting and international academic entrance scholarships. So the scholarships ranges from $2,000 to $10,000 and based on your grades of class 10 and class 12. For IB students, we do have scholarships for starting from 32 points and above. And if in case you want to additionally fund yourself, we also have on-campus work study positions, for which you can also apply once you are there on campus. If in case you have any questions, you can post it in the chat box. Otherwise, you can just take a screenshot of my email ID, post it to them, and then we can have a discussion.
Thank you, Saurabh. Very quickly moving on to another Canadian university, Ms. Niharika Kataria from University of Windsor.
Thank you, Almas, and good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, ICAE and Rashmi ma'am and Ms. Morris for giving us the opportunity to connect with all of you. during these tough times, but this is the only way we can connect right now. I hope everybody can see my screen.
Yes, it is there.
Thanks, Almas. So welcome to the presentation for University of Windsor, and I represent the university based out of Delhi in their India office. This university is a comprehensive research-based university in Canada. Before moving on to giving you details about the university, I just wanted to highlight why you should choose a Canadian education. I know a lot of you will have many options at hand, a lot of confusing options too. But in order to make a decision, I think these few points which are there on your screen will help you. At Canadian institutions, we are very concerned and keep it as a priority. The safety and security of our students. We try and provide you with a healthy community, a very nice, closely knit community. So this is something that has been a priority for all Canadian institutions for a very long time. It is a welcoming and diverse community. We have people from all across the globe coming to study at these institutions, and because of that, the whole society is a multicultural and diverse society. So that is what you will gain when you go to one of these Canadian institutions. Affordability wise, the tuition and cost of living is pretty competitive if you compare it with other universities across the globe. The degrees are worldwide recognized and fully accredited. Moving on to the University of Windsor per se, the university was established in 1954, and we give out around 200 plus the undergrad level. These are all 4-year degrees. If you're interested in continuing your education, there are 70 plus master's and doctorate degrees that you can look at. It is a medium-sized university with 16. You will get plenty of opportunities to hone your skills and hobbies if you be a part of the 200 plus student clubs and societies that we have. Location-wise, we are in the Ontario province of Canada. If you have a look at the map on the right-hand side, you can see that we are an international border city. Detroit is our neighbor. It is just, across the river from us. And that is what attracts students to this city and to this university, the location. We are very close to USA, and it is one of the most active international borders. The weather conditions in Windsor is pretty favorable. Because we are surrounded by the 5 Great Lakes area, the water bodies being around, the weather gets cleared up very quickly. So we get 7 months of short sleeve weather and a lot of sunshine, apart from the winter months where it can go up to -25 or -30. Moving on to the USPs of the university, we try and provide you with a state-of-the-art teaching facilities. Right now, the classes are happening online, and we have invested around $1.5 million in order to get your lectures to the comforts of your home. We know that it is not very safe for everybody to travel. So that is why we have invested a lot of thought process and money into getting the lectures online. Diversity-wise, you would be studying under the same roof with 90 plus different nationalities, be it faculty, staff, or student population. You will have a lot of international exposure when you go to this university. It is a medium-sized university, so we try and concentrate on paying attention to each and every student. Affordability wise, the tuition fee ranges between 30,000 to 40,000 Canadian dollars, and the cost of living is roughly around 8,000 Canadian dollars per annum if you are staying on campus. You also have the ability to work on or off campus during your studies. You can work part-time, you can work in various departments of the university, or work off campus too. These are the kind of programs that we have on offer. Bachelor of Commerce has specializations in accounting, finance, entrepreneurship, and many more. Bachelor of Sciences has biotechnology, biochemistry, computer science, forensics. These are some of the popular subject areas that you see on your screen. Engineering has various specialization, mechanical, aerospace, automotive being the front runners at the university. A lot of students go for these programs. Bachelor of Human kinetics is like rehabilitation or physiotherapy, where movement science and sports psychology are the specializations. Bachelor of Arts is the biggest faculty at the university and offers courses in international relations, political science, psychology, etc. Moving on to the entry requirements, something that I missed in the previous slide, the asterisks that you see here are the co-op opportunities that are embedded into the program. So whenever you enroll for any of these faculties, you will definitely get to do a co-op. Now, a co-op is like an internship which is embedded into your 4-year undergrad degree. So starting from the second year, when you choose your specialization, you can actually work with real-time companies. It is an experiential learning opportunity that the university provides to their students. For more details, you can be in touch with me. Moving on to the admission requirements, 70 to 80% is what we are looking at, Ontario standards. But if we compare it to the national boards, ICSE, CBSE, state boards, it is around 62 to 65%. Each faculty has specific entry requirements, engineering, sciences, BCom, they all require maths, so you need to plan accordingly when you are applying to Canadian universities. 6.5 IELTS is the basic requirement for English language proficiency. We have loads of scholarships and awards to give out at the undergrad level. So the scholarships start from 1,000 and go up to 5,000 or 10,000 Canadian dollars in some cases. They're all based on academic merit. 85% is the minimum that we are looking at. These are my coordinates on your screen. You can take a screenshot and get in touch with me through the email address or phone number that is mentioned. The ask.uwindsor.ca tab that you see here works like a Google. So in any stage, if you feel stuck anywhere, you can just go onto the website and put in your query, and you will be able to get all your answers there. Thank you very much for being patient listeners, and I pass it on to Almas now.
Thank you, Niharika. Now moving on to Spain here. I would like to invite Ms. Subhashri Jain from IE University.
Hello, thanks Almas. All right, so I'll quickly get done with this because I think I'm the last one here. Hi everybody, my name is Subhashri and
You are not the last one.
Oh, all right. My name is Subhashri and I represent IE University, which is a private university based in Spain. I've put a small infographic out here so that you get all the important details that I have to share. IE is based in Madrid and Segovia. Segovia is a small little town that is 45 minutes away from Madrid by road and 20 minutes by high-speed train. As I said before, IE is an international university. We teach everything in English, so you do not have to worry about not knowing Spanish and how would you survive there and so on. We have 5 different schools and we offer 11 bachelor degree programs that runs for 4 years, except for the architecture degree which runs for 5 years. We also offer 6 dual degree programs, which is combining 2 bachelor degrees, and at the end of 5 years you get 2 different degrees. And as I mentioned before, we have 2 campuses out here. IE in terms of rankings, so number 1 in Spain, number 5 in Europe. Our BBA is number 6 in the world. Times has put us number 14 and QS 31. We're recognized by the Bar Council of India. So if you choose to study LLB with us, you can come back and practice. We have the triple crown, like my colleague Divya mentioned. Only 5% of business schools all over the world have it, and we're very proud to be one of them. And we're on Design Intelligence, we're top 10, and we're also members of APSIA, which means we have really high quality education and research offered when it comes to our programs in international relations. Bit statistics about the university. Our university comprises of 80% international students. We are more than 50 different educational systems are on board, so it does not matter if you're doing CBSE, ISE, State Board, IB, Cambridge. There are a lot of different curriculums on board with us. 45 plus languages spoken on campus. As per on the 7th, our new class of 2024 and 25 started their term, and this year we had around 118 nationalities represented, 51% of them being women, and more than 40% of these students were offered financial aid. In terms of our graduating class, 94% of class of 2018 is employed. 4% are either doing their masters or they're working in startups, and the rest 2%, again, as I said, they're fully focused on entrepreneurship because that is one of our core DNAs. Here you can see some of the companies that regularly recruit from us and where our students work. In terms of admissions process, it's pretty straightforward. You can either apply online on our website, or you could apply via Common App and choose IE University and the campus that you're applying for. Once the application is sent in, you will have to take the IE admissions test, which has English, math, and logic, which can be waived if you have above 1200 on SAT, above 24 on an ACT, or above 22 in LNAT. Once that is done, we send you a link for an online assessment followed by an interview and then the final offer. Once you have the final offer in, you can apply for financial aid. We have 15 plus options for you, and you can choose up to 3. All our bachelor degrees are 21,000 euros a year, and the dual degrees are for 23,000 euros a year. For juniors out here, that is those of you who are currently in grade 11, we have a program exclusively for you called the Junior Advisory Board, where 15 students from all over the world get selected, and if you are chosen, you get an 80% scholarship to study with us, and you also get a fully funded trip to Spain, and you attend a week-long conference on our campus. And if you need more details, you have my contact details out here, and you can reach out to me. Feel free to email me or ask me questions here, and I'm here for you.
Thank you, Subhashree. Thank you. You can breathe now. Yeah. And next up is Ms. Deepa Gugnani from Queen's University. Deepa, over to you.
Thank you, Almas. Good afternoon, Jayashree Paliwal School. I'm neither last nor least. I think I have one more before after me. So I'll also share my screen. If someone can just confirm if my presentation
Yes, it's there.
Okay. Thank you so much. Queen's, like many Canadian universities present today, is also a public university of Canada. Lot has been spoken, so I will not get into all those details once again, which already has been discussed. A little bit about Queen's, and then I'll also cover the location again, because Canada is a huge country, second largest in the world, so you need to understand where the institution is actually located. Queen's, as I mentioned before, is the oldest public university of Canada. You can say it was formed in the year 1841, and we also are a mid-sized university. When I say mid-size, I think one of my colleagues has already mentioned the population, student population community ranges between somewhere 20 to 30,000 students. That's like mid-size. So Queen's has about 25,000 students, and we've got about 27% of our students international at the master's level, and about 13% at the undergrad level. All these are coming from wide variety of countries. So we have technically about 108 countries represented on our campus. Our alumni representation is also extremely strong. We have about 150,000 alumni across 154 countries. So technically there is an alumni, a Queen's alumni in every possible part of this world. So that shows that we are diverse, we are strong, and we have a great representation all across. We are also members of a very prestigious group of U15 research intensive universities. It has the likes of McGill, McMaster, U-Toronto, and Queen's is part of U15, which means that research is an integral part of Queen's degrees, even at the undergrad level. Things like experiential learning, things like co-op, which we call internship at Queen's, and things like international exchange. These are the three very, very integral part of Canadian degrees. Anywhere you go, we all are great in our offerings. There could not be oh, we are better than those, and we are the best in this. But what varies is the experience. what you can gain, how you are taught at Queen's could be different from how you are taught at Waterloo or how you are taught at Victoria. So the experience that you go through at a particular institution will vary from one to another. Otherwise, all Canadian universities, we are not a lot of them like US, we are great in our offerings, we are all great in our research, and things such as internships, things such as experiential learning will definitely come at some point of time in during your degree programs. So that was about at large about Canada and Queens. This is the location. The red dot that you see on your screen is the city of Kingston, which is like literally, a middle point of the major cities of the biggest and the most populous province of Canada, which is Ontario. One side is Toronto, which is like 2 hours and 20 minutes drive, and the other side is Ottawa, which is about precisely 2 hours drive. So we are in the middle of both the cities, which are very popular in among internationally with us. Montreal, which is in Quebec, is about 3 hours drive, and the line that is crossing the entire slide is the border, and we are touching the upstate New York side of the US, and the cities like Syracuse could be reached in like literally 45 minutes drive. So we are like touching upon that part of US. So that gives you an idea of we are literally halfway to everywhere. We are very, very, centrally located. This is about the location of the university. Um, these are broad program areas which are available at Queen's. So we have all our undergraduate majors, minors offered under these broad program areas. I will not go through because the alphabetical listing of all the majors, minors within these programs areas are listed on our website, and I'll share the link with you. But the most popular and the most competitive degrees at Queen's includes commerce, bachelor's of commerce. It's our one comprehensive undergrad degree for business. It's offered by our very renowned, Smith School of Business, which is very highly ranked in the world. We also got a very competitive faculty of engineering and applied sciences, offering 10 different branch of engineering, and again, very strong and competitive to get through. Health sciences is another area where we think that we have a niche, and we kind of are very strong in our within this faculty, and our students go up to and take wide variety of careers and very, very successful. So health sciences, engineering, commerce are three areas, but besides this we are very strong with our computing and arts and sciences, which is our largest faculty and houses like about 65% of the freshmen, uh, because of the huge offerings of the arts and sciences program. So this is about our program, and then I will now take you through the requirements. Is a competitive university to get through. I understand that there is an IB curriculum offered at your school, and there is a CBSE curriculum. So if you see the range on the screen right now, we are looking at a range of 32 to 38 IB points in the diploma projected, and the most competitive scores are for again courses like commerce, health sciences, and engineering, where we are looking for students to submit and predicted scores of 36 and above, going up to 38, 39. And then arts and sciences, computing would require a range of 32 to 34. CBSE students, we are looking for a range of 80 to 90%. And then if there is an A levels offered at the school, then that's the range we are looking for. Meeting prerequisites, which means that having the right sort of courses in your high school, precisely in 11th and 12th, is the key to get into a Canadian university. We have some set of courses that we want you to have studied in your background. And in absence of those, no matter how great you have been scoring, it's difficult to get into a particular major. So do check out with your preferred university what are they really looking for in terms of subjects, and then apply accordingly. IELTS is highly recommended because the Canadian government, when you're applying for a study permit to Canada, the Canadian government do seek an English language test scores in your application. So that's kind of recommended. Not exactly an admission requirement, but it's a visa requirement. And that's something about awards and scholarships. We do have something specific for Indian students, which is called Principal Excellence Scholarship. This is a scholarship only given to the citizens of India who apply from India. And the value of the scholarship is 20,000 Canadian dollars. This is spread over 2 years of your degree. It's a counselor nomination scholarship. So if the school counselor nominates you for this scholarship, you have very high chances of getting through. The only criteria for getting this scholarship is high academic, score. So you should demonstrate high scores in throughout your high school, and especially in class 12th your predictives should be extremely strong. So superior academic abilities are the only criteria to get through this scholarship. Besides this, we have something called international admission scholarship, which is, of course, it's international, so all nationalities are kind of covered into this category. So it left with very Indian students actually end up getting this scholarship, because Indians have very something specific in the form of principal excellence. And then we have an excellence scholarship, which is of amount 1,500 or 4,000. It's a first year bursary, and most likely if you are selected for an offer, you are also going to get one of this excellence scholarship, either 1,500 or 4,000. But principal excellence is limited to 35 scholarships, and we kind of end up giving it to the most competitive applicants. Our acceptance rate is roughly about 40%, 40 to 45%. So it is definitely a competitive university to get through. We've got limited seats, and we try to fill it with the most competitive students coming from across the world. So do research more about us and through our website. And these are my contact details on your screen. You can take a screenshot. I'll also put it in the chat box, and happy to help if you have any questions. I hope I have not exceeded my 3 minutes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deepa. Thank you very much. Very quickly, I would like to invite Mr. Mahib Babbar from Instituto Marangoni. Mahib, over to you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mahib. I represent Istituto Marangoni. It's an Italian design school. And, first thing first, I would want to tell you is that every year we're getting about 4 to 5 students from Jayashree Periwal School only, opting for our Mumbai campus to our Milan, London, Paris, Florence campuses. So thank you so much for that and believing us. Now, I would be starting with the presentation. If you all can see my screen. Yes, you guys can. Yes.
Yeah, it's coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, so we are one of the pioneers of design education that started in 1935 in Milan. We, in the period of time in about 85 years, we have extended over to 10 campuses across the globe, starting from 1935 in Milan, then in London, then Paris, Shanghai, Milan again, Milan School of Design, Florence, Shenzhen, again Shanghai, Mumbai, and then we started a campus in Miami. Now, the best thing about Istituto Marangoni for all 10 campuses is the cross-school experience. You can start your course anywhere, you can end your course anywhere. With that said, so that you can start your course in India, in Mumbai, you can do another 2 years in Milan, Paris, or be it once, campus. You can start your course in Milan, or you can end your course in London. So likewise, you can, do all the permutation combinations with any school. My personal reference is going to be stick with 1+2 or 2+1. That means only stick with 2 schools at the time. Not, in your 3-year undergraduate program, you'll be, opting for 3 schools and then doing all the vocational work rather than an education trip. So yeah, that's my personal recommendation. Now, Marangoni is one of the best schools in the world. It's on the top 10 schools in the world because of the teaching methodologies. Teaching methodology is that I do not have a academician who's been working for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, what we see in normal, schools. We have people who are the working professionals. That means 60% of the facilitators are the ones who are working with brands like Louis Vuitton, Prada, Armani, Versace, Christian Dior, H&M, the luxury brands. They come and teach my students. They, take a flight, come to India, or take a flight, go to Milan, Paris, London, Florence, and would be giving the live projects. And from the very first year, my students would be doing live projects on the brands like Louis Vuitton, Prada, the luxury brands. This is the criteria one. The second criteria of the 40% category is the alumni of Marangoni who have studied in Milan, Paris, London, Florence, have worked in the industry, and now they would be, teaching in Marangoni. So only 2 categories can teach in Marangoni. And if you look at the overall picture, everyone who's teaching is working in the industry. With that said, so I also have a 94% placement ratio because of this thing, with an 88% only with the luxury segment. So yeah, that makes us one of the best students with the, campuses with the best network and the best placements. Definitely quality education, you will find this as all the accreditations. So wherever, depending on which campus you're going ahead with, then the accreditations will vary in that way. If it is London, then you get BA honors degree. If it is Milan, Paris, Florence, which is Europe, you get a European diploma. That is FM diploma, again, highest credential as per the government guidelines. I have 120 plus courses to be delivered to the students in 3 major domains, that is fashion, arts, and design. So we specialize in these 3 domains. You name the course in fashion, we'll have it. These are primarily the courses, preparatory courses, 1 year, study abroad, semester course, BA honors, BA, sandwich program of 4 years, professional program experiences of 6 months to 1 year, postgrad programs of 1 year to 15 months, short course from 3 weeks to even 12 weekends. You name it, we will be having it at different campuses. Of course, depending upon which campus is, specializing in which domain. So likewise, let's say Florence is into art and design. So I have courses in fashion and arts in Florence. Milan School of Design is already only a design school. So be it, I would say product, graphic, multimedia, these interiors are being taught in that school. Mumbai School is the School of Design and Fashion. So again, fashion related courses you'll find, and the design is only interior design. So every school has a, a specialization. Some of the information about fashion studies. I mean, fashion is divided into 3 genres, major genres, which is fashion design, fashion styling, fashion business. Design studies are, are characterized in various areas like interior design, product design, visual, which is graphic design, multimedia design. And in arts, any student, I'm talking about Jaipur now. Now, Jaipur, I've seen in my past is that, a lot of students are into design and art categories. And there, there's parents also having a business in that domain. So in arts, if you especially want to go to my Florence campus, it's, Florence is the art capital of the world. And the course over there is going to be art curation and art management. That's the best courses to offer. Now, of course, every student would want to know what is the scholarship, how can we go about it? We have about a €2 million scholarship to be delivered to our students every year across 10 campuses. So you just need to be the best in your class, right from first year to second year to third year, and you'll definitely get the scholarship, right from 10%, 15%, 20% in the first year, 20, 30, 50 in the second year, and 30, 50, 100% in the last year, depending upon which class are you in and how much are you getting. I think mostly I've covered everything. A small 10-second video when this is some slides. There's not a single fashion show or exhibit where my students have not put their collection. A small video and then we close the presentation. So at the end, it's all about exposure and network, and definitely you get a best platform to go about it. And thank you so much. It was a pleasure to present in front of every one of you. If you have any queries, I'll be putting up my details in the text box, and you can connect with me at any point of time. And in case you want to be participating in any of our workshops or competitions, please go and click on our Instagram page, and you'll have all the updates. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Mahip. Thank you very much. So students, I'm just waiting for your questions. So I can see a lot of questions have been answered. I'll take a few questions which have already been answered so that everyone can get them. So first one is for Canada and US universities. I can see Asta has already answered this. I'll just repeat the question. This is from Amole. He says, what are the best universities for performing arts, both in US and Canada? So we can get one answer from one Canadian university and one US university. Niharika, you want to say something?
Yeah, we do have programs in performing arts, for example, music, theater, dramatics. So students need to submit portfolios. They need to submit some samples along with the applications. So any monologues that you can submit, any music piece that you can submit, there might be some online interviews at the moment, which may happen with the professors. So basically, if you have the minimum entry requirements plus some experience in the performing arts, you'll have to submit that when you are applying to Canadian universities.
Okay, so I have one more question from Rashri. I think none of the university is providing MBBS courses here in Canada. So if you can answer what all the exams do I have to qualify to take the admission in MBBS in Canada? Anyone from the Canadian university? Okay, I'll just move on. The next question.
Sorry, I thought somebody would answer. But in Canada, not all universities will have the MBBS program. It is province-wise. So each university might have, each province might have a particular university offering the MBBS program. International students getting onto the MBBS program is also a little tough for them because there are, reservations, there are just a handful that the medical schools across the provinces will take. So not more than 3 or 4 international students would be able to get through. So it's highly competitive when you are applying to provincial schools for a medical program.
Can I just add here? This is Deepa here.
Yes, Deepa.
How do you will take it?
This is one of the most common question everywhere. First of all, there is no MBBS in Canada. It requires a bachelor's degree to get into an MD program. As Niharika said, very rightly said, these kind of areas like medicine, like law, they're all kind of governed and it's a provincial government domain. So it's kind of, they would have a preference to first enroll the domestic students of that particular province. And there could be 2-3 seats, there could be 10 seats. We don't know the numbers, how many international students can be enrolled into these courses. But the fact of the matter is there are a lot of Indian doctors in Canada. So they could be first generation Canadian Indians, there could be international students at that time who became Canadians after that. So it's a tricky thing, not a straightforward process, but the first step of the ladder is you have to enroll yourself for a bachelor's degree. And then comes the second step of taking a MCAT examination and then apply to a number of med schools across the country. Queens has a med school. There are a number of universities that have a medicine school which offers an MD program, and then try for admission into MD on the basis of your MCAT and followed by an interview, and maintain the GPA in your undergrad degree. These are all the kind of further steps taking you towards your medicine program. And then it's again a 4-year degree. MD is 4 years. So it's 8 years of back-to-back academic studies if you really wish to do that back-to-back. Otherwise, there could be a break in between, and then try for residency, become a Canadian first, and then go for MD. So there could be multiple answers there. This requires a separate session actually to cut the long story short.
Yeah, thank you, Deepa. So I have one question for Astha from Education USA. So Astha, Harsimran Kaur says, how do I strengthen my profile during this pandemic? Looking forward to studying in US.
Yes, thank you so much, Almas. And thank you, Harsimran, for asking this question. It's a very relevant question at the moment. A lot of students are asking us now that we're at home, how are we supposed to do this? But the fact is that you can still do a lot of things. So just at the top of my head, there are virtual internships that are being offered by a lot of companies and NGOs at the moment. Just today, I found out that CRY, we all know about Child Relief in You, they're offering an internship of 2 months for students after the ages of 14. So there are a lot of opportunities like that. Okay, so if you just write into us, I will share you a document of all the virtual stuff that's available at the moment, because I did this session in April, starting when the lockdown was just initiated for students, because we were getting a lot of questions. So at the moment, just a few things, Almas, I want to just bring out is that a lot of students are asking us about profile building. You must remember that not all universities in the US will require a laundry list of everything. Just because the US apply career, doesn't mean you need to have community service, doesn't mean you need to have internships. It depends on you, what you're passionate about, what impacts you and affects you. So if community service is not your thing, please do not do it, okay? Because doing it just as a token for 1 week, the university admission officer gets that, okay? That you've done this only for applications. So do it if you have, your heart is in it, okay? Or if it's remotely even related to your subject, right? So it could be internships for some of you it could be community service. Many of the students right now are working on research projects, okay? And a lot of students are doing vlogging, or they're writing blogs. So none of this requires you to step out of your house. So is there an opportunity that you could have done, outside, but now can you adapt it to an online mode? All of us have adapted to online modes. So see if you can do that as well. And if you want to discuss a particular activity with us, just call us up and we'll tell you, okay, this will work and this might not work, or why don't you try this new thing? So that is about profile building, okay? There is a session that I have done on how to make the most of your online break. Check out Facebook. Our Education USA India Facebook has that session up there. That will give you a lot of activities to start with. And then if you still have questions, call us. Just another thing I want to talk about here today is that a lot of universities are asking, students are asking about the top universities in different programs. And it's very easy for me to just pull up a list and give it to you. But the point is that you have to remember, US universities are holistic in nature when they're looking at admissions. So they're also looking at right fit. We have had students in the past who had excellent profiles and they thought that they were a safe university to apply to, but have not gotten in. That boils it down to what I have asked admissions officers this, and they tell us that we also are looking at right fit. So what you want to do and what the university has needs to be a fit. Just because they're top universities as per a particular website doesn't mean that the top universities for you, right? So please prioritize, make your list of your top 5 factors and start checking universities with that lens. That does it even make sense for me? If you're going to apply to UCLA and you want 100% funding, that's the wrong university for you, because UCLA is a public university. It does not give 100% funding. So there in itself is not a good university for you. So please look at websites. I have shared links today, but first start with shortlisting your priorities and then look at universities. Okay, so that was just to answer a lot of questions that I got today from students. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Astha. Thank you. Very, very useful for the students, I guess. So this is for the Canadian universities. So Pratha Sharma says, I want to study a combination of psychology and business. Which university would support this combination in Canada?
You want to take that?
Yeah.
Yes. So you know what, I would really take that question. The education, I think most of the Western countries, the education is very liberal. You can customize your course to your requirement. Now, and in fact, all the students choose their own courses on their own subjects and then customize the program as per their requirements. However, there are a lot of universities that offer you say management with a minor in organizational psychology. So you can do a major in management and a minor in organizational psychology. Or you can do a major in psychology with a minor in one of the management courses. You can also specialize. Say, for example, I want to learn a bit about accounting along with psychology. I can do that. So you can always mix and match. You can also do a dual degree. So it's not that, a lot of students have that in mind that why should I just do psychology? I also want to do management. So you can do a dual degree, pick up both the courses. It may take you a bit longer. So instead of the regular four years, it may take you 5 years to complete a dual degree. But you have 2 degrees at the end of the, of your studying term. Other than that, if you also choose a 5-year, because it's generally with a co-op, the program is a 5-year program because you do that extra months of co-op or paid internships. So what happens is when you're doing a 5-year degree, which is a dual degree in psychology and management, you are anyways completing the 5 years with a co-op or paid internships. So I always feel that it is more helpful, and it also helps you in your career, choices when you are looking for jobs outside. So yes, Canada does have multiple courses to choose from. They can choose major, minor, double major, or a minor, or a bachelor's, depending on what the student wants.
Thank you, Divya. So, Subhashree, I have a question for you. Aditya says, I want to go for both sports and engineering in Spain. What should I do? Please answer him.
Hi, so at IE, we have around 120 plus student clubs, and of which at least 30 are athletic clubs. So yes, that is an option when you enter IE. But in terms of engineering, we do not have a single course in engineering or pure sciences for that matter. So the only course or 2 courses that are close to engineering is the first one is the Bachelor in Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence, and the second one is the Bachelor in Data and Business Analytics. So if you need more details about these courses and about athletics and sports at IE, please send me an email at, I'm putting it on the chat.
Thank you, Subhashree. So I guess this was the last question for the day, and I can see a lot of questions have been answered. So students, if you have more questions, you can definitely contact all our panelists who are there. They've already given all the information in the chat box. You can copy all the information from there. And you can always write to us at nazir@icaindia.com. We will definitely forward your queries to the delegates present here. And I would like to thank all of you for joining us today. Thank you, Rashmi ma'am. Thank you, Sajna ma'am, for giving us this opportunity. And I hope you are.
Thanks to you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. And I hope this session is very helpful for the students who have attended today. So thank you very much once again. Stay safe and stay healthy, everyone. So I'll just quickly want to take a photograph if you can just switch on your cameras. Deepa, are you there? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe and stay healthy. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you, Almaz. Thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Almaz. Thank you, Nazir sir, and the panel, encapsulating actually the complete information in such a short time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.